Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the podcast Without a Name.
Without a name.
We are here at the cottage, and positive things happen here. We are so excited to continue on another week with our podcast. We just finished up yoga last night. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week. I'm not going to lie. It has definitely been a challenging week, but
Yoga with Sherry. I'm sorry,
yes.
but yoga with Sherry last night.
Oh my gosh,
was just very. I think you and I had a good discussion. I'll hold that for
let's
for
hold
later.
that for,
I'll hold that for later.
For what did you call it last week? What
hot topics?
What Dawn want to talk about?
What Dawn wants to talk about?
Those hot topics, right? But yeah, it was a challenging week. But we started with our yoga with Cherie Jones last night, our mindfulness and movement. And that really helped me get kind of recentered, get focused, and stay in my own lane, right? Because I saw a saying this week that says, like, the good thing about being in your own lane is that there is not a lot of traffic. There's no traffic, right? So that yoga really kind of brought me to. So
there's no traffic, so you don't have to beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, or do you beep, beep, and just wave?
No, we're going too fast. We can't see all that. No, seriously, but that was also a shameful plug for our Thursday night yoga.
Yes.
We do have yoga every Thursday night with Cherie Jones. She will actually be a guest on our podcast next. Yes, she will Friday, be the first guest on our podcast next Friday. So excited for that. And then here we are Friday shooting our podcast, and then tomorrow, every Saturday morning, we go right into our chakra yoga with Sherry.
Yep.
So between Thursday and Saturday is really just a very kind of Zen period for us.
Well, right? I don't know about Zen.
I'm being positive.
Look, I don't know about Zen because if I'm not correct, isn't tonight book club?
Oh,
tonight is book club.
I completely forgot.
So,
Ashley, Acorn, let's go.
But so we have.
Oh my goodness, we
how
gotta
could you forget that?
I don't know how I could forget book club.
Right. So what we'll do?
Yes.
So we have yoga
on
Thursday
I'm not ready
to help center us. We have Ratchet on Friday when we do our book club,
and we talk about some serious topics.
We talk about.
Book was so good.
This book was
Perfect Peace by Daniel Black. We're not going to give it away.
No, but I would recommend it. It's a wild book.
It's a wild book. It's really good. And things are kind of happening on the fly. So I think next month we said that the book club would actually be part of our podcast. We're going to try to get that organized for next month because it is just such a good time. You guys have to experience it. Ultimately, we want to get everyone into the cottage, right? Because this is, like you said, a safe space where positive things happen. So we want to get people here into the cottage, but we're going to try to, bring that book club to reality and to bring it to the masses because it's such a good time.
It's a very good time. And I use the word ratchet and let me correct myself because it's not. It's really what it is it's a group of women that are so comfortable that we are able to just have a really good time.
An honest
time, communicating, eating good food, having good cocktails, and just listening to good music and talking.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is once we're done with the actual book portion of it, there'll be little conversations that are going on here, there, and everywhere. And it's just a really, I think we used the term yesterday, Cherie said, like a girls' club.
Yeah, it is a very girls' club.
It's a girls' club for women, right? But I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
I just wanted to make
fine.
sure that nothing ratchet happens.
No, it's
cottage.
not. We're not.
We're not ratchet.
By no means. But yeah, you're right. So we have book club the first Friday night. So that's going on tonight. And then we have yoga on Saturday. And when I went over all the events last week, I failed to mention our back to school bash. That is happening on Saturday, August 17th.
Yes.
That's a Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. It's going to be here at the cottage, and we are preparing to help supply 25 students to get ready for school, and their parents too. So Anea Carter will be here from the Self Love Glow, that group, and Self Love Glow. Can you look that up for me, because I don't want to get that incorrect. I'm so sorry. So we'll have her here, Anea Carter, and also we'll have a licensed school psychologist here, as well as a teacher that can help just answer questions around getting ready for back to school, how to get your routine started. Like, okay, do you need to start getting everyone ready for bedtime at a certain time? Do you need to make sure that it's, a healthy adjustment for not just the students, but also the parents as well?
Right.
Were you able to look the name of her organization up?
Yes, for sure. It's Natural Glow Self Love Club.
Okay.
Natural Glow Self Club Love.
Okay, perfect. So, so she'll be here, and she's going to be doing activities. So she'll be helping the kids make different lip scrubs. They will also be doing affirmation jars. Emery Simone will be here doing customized bracelets as a vendor. So it's going to be a good time. I just want to make sure that we give that its proper due, because it is something that we're working on and that we're really, really proud of putting together.
And that's just one of the many opportunities that we are going to try and work on. Supporting, even if we collaborate with someone, or even just sponsoring ourselves, we want to be able to give back to the community, and whether it be Thanksgiving food drives, Christmas, gift baskets or whatever. We just want to be influential.
Yes.
Part of seeing the community grow, right?
Influential.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way.
Wait, what?
This is the second, episode. My words, sometimes I get tongue-tied.
Just a little bit. It's okay.
But it's okay. But you know what I'm trying to say. That's why I have you, to make sure that I'm saying these wonderful words correctly.
But it's a process, right? And that's the other thing about the cottage that is so cool, is that you can really learn here. And we're not professional podcasters.
Not at all.
By no means.
No.
But we have a voice, and we want to create a platform in which people that have voices and people that need to develop their voice and find their voice, that they can be comfortable coming here.
Right.
Because everything is not always glitz and glamour, right? A lot of times there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
So, you don't have to be perfect on our podcast. It's okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it, Dawn.
Yeah, because we're all, thank you, because we're all just trying to get this thing right?
We're all just trying to get it right. Yes.
But I'm going to, so that leads me
so I just wanted to quickly touch on the activities that we have going on, let everyone know about the back to school bash, and also our Thursday and Saturday yoga classes. Those are our standing programming and activities that we are creating here at the cottage, that you yourself mentioned, where positive things happen, and it's like a girls club for ladies.
Yeah. Super cool, right?
Super cool. Okay, so what are our hot topics
today?
this week?
So hot topics.
Hot topics. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. So what, I think the conversation I want to move forward with it is around sisterhood, right? Sisterhood. So last night we were asked, is it hard being in business with your sister? And your answer was,
we in it right now. At yoga. Like,
yes.
We in it right now.
We were in it right now. So I guess, and full transparency here, I've recently retired, which I was told today that I need to take this word out of my vocabulary.
Remove it from your vocabulary.
Devin says that I need to remove that word from my vocabulary.
You're not retired. You are retired from corporate America, but you are a small business owner. You are an entrepreneur, and you are a millionaire in the making. So it's no days off.
So yesterday, this happened because yesterday, at the cottage, like Devin said, we have yoga on Thursday evening. So to me, that's a late work night, right? So that means that, and I guess I'm still thinking corporate kind of. I'm thinking, well, I'm working late tonight. So how about I'm gonna come in late, right?
Late night.
So I said, hey. To my mom, hey Dean, you want to go over to Delaware Park? And of course, she said, let me get my hat.
She asked me to buy her a hat and matching kids this week. So let me put that on my to-do list that my mom needs a pair of flower kids with a matching hat.
Right. So she said, let me get my hat, right? So we get over there. So right before we're leaving,
mm-hmm.
Ring, and it's Devin. And I know because it's like, I should have expected the phone call because it's almost noon and I haven't checked in, mm-hmm. right? So, what are you doing? What's going on? And I'm like, and so I start stumbling my words, right? And mind you, I'm the big sister, right?
But I don't know, that didn't air when we said who's the final boss.
Well, I don't know about the final boss, but I'm just trying to say.
But you are the big sis.
I'm the little big sis because we still have another big sis, right? And so I'm stumbling my words and I'm like, me and Dean get ready to go over to Delaware Park. What? She said.
It's August 1st. It's the first of the month. Like, we got plans. We got to get this thing moving. The first of the month, there is a lot of administrative work. Like, I'm still we got work to do. So today I told Dawn, my sister, that, I know you're retired from one career, but we are embarking on a new journey in our lives that it's fun, but it's no days off, baby girl. Like, we got to keep going and keep pushing.
I totally get it, man. I guess I got caught up in the phenomenon of being retired mm-hmm. and thinking that I was. What did you say?
Living a life of luxury.
You said I thought I was who?
Bob Hope.
I thought I was Bob
Hope on the golf course. I was like, what are we doing? She's like, I wasn't at the golf course. I was like, White Clay, that's not a golf course. No. But anyway, but you can see within that sisterhood, it can get a little petty, right?
Right. It can totally get a little petty.
There are times where especially with us being in business together, that it does get pretty stressful and it does get hard, difficult at times. But as with any relationship, as long as you keep the lines of communication open, I feel that there's always a path through. And one of the things that I was really grateful for last night was that, despite that having happened early in the day around noon, we had yoga at 7 p.m. So the old me could have easily just stayed in bed and gone home and been, as someone called me, sniffles, because I was, sniffling. But I could have very easily done that. But the fact is that we have done a phenomenal job at creating a healing space here.
Right.
So I knew I had somewhere to come last night that would, help me work through whatever feelings or emotions, that I was having.
Yeah.
And the same with you, because immediately kind of after we finished our yoga session, it was like everyone was enlightened. Everyone took accountability.
I understand.
Took accountability and saw it from everyone. We were able to see it from each other's perspective. So
and like you said, that's one of the things that I totally appreciate about this coziness of the cottage, is that you can come here not feeling your ultimate best, right? Not feeling your ultimate best, but when you leave here, you've gotten a little bit of something that you can take with you that will make you, if not feel better, but just make you think a little differently, right? So that's what I appreciate about what we've created here at the cottage.
Yeah, can I say something along those lines too? And I know I mentioned that this week had been a little challenging, but when you talk about what we created here, and we talk about that term, a safe space, and I take that so seriously because I really feel that is what we're creating here, and that is authentically what we're about. And when the term safe space is kind of thrown around, it kind of, it does bother me. And so that's what I just want to kind of make sure is that, people also know how authentic that we are, and that this is something that we really put a lot of time and work into. And it was almost like we say that the cottage is the output of lives that we deliberately burned down. Like, we deliberately took the mask off. We deliberately hit the pause button. We deliberately said time out from this race, or from this almost this facade that, is very hard to keep up with. So when we talk about transparency and we talk about a safe space for women,
right,
that is what this is, because we know what a woman needs in a safe space.
Right. Yeah, and that goes back, and I'm using a term that I learned more recently in corporate America. They want you to be able to be your true, authentic self, right? And do you in a sisterhood for me? And I'm still developing, and that's crazy, because at my age of 52, I am just starting to realize that I don't have to be friends with everyone, or I don't have to engage with everyone. My circle is my circle, right? And my circle may be 5 people on my hand, right? But the energy that I receive from those 5 people is enough that sustains
it's
me.
The quality, not the quantity, right?
The quantity. And you have people that and I'm probably derailing, but you have people that you only see maybe once a year, but that energy is authentic, and it's like you were just with them yesterday, right? So in my conversation around sisterhood, I wanted to say, what is important to you in sisterhood, whether it's from biological or your circle. What is it that you feel you look for, and when you do, are you looking for someone that is being their true, authentic self?
Yeah. Okay. So, wow, that's a good question. So for, wow. And we don't, just so everyone knows, we don't rehearse these questions these topics ahead of time.
Not at all.
So what do I look for in sisterhood? I would say at the place that I am in my life right now, what I'm looking for in sisterhood is support. You know what I mean? Like, I know that everyone is a work in progress, right? So no matter where we are in our journeys, what I found is that there is something that connects us all.
Right.
So for me, like prior in my corporate career, I was always the only African American, let alone, the only female African American in leadership. Like, right. It was unheard of. So I was, for 17 years, I was very isolated. I was the only one. So in my world, I thought I was the only one. And now I step out into the world and I see so many powerful
unicorns,
as someone called us. But, that magic, and all of us have it. And that's where we connect, regardless of whether we're going through a tough time at that particular moment. There is a magic that kind of is there. And it's beneficial for some of us, for, them. I don't know who them is. You take it how you want it, to kind of keep us separated. Because, if I don't know there's others like me, and then when I finally hook up with others like me, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But I think that it takes a certain level of transparency, especially for me, and vulnerability, because of where I've come from, what my journey has been. Like I said, I deliberately tapped out, and I still am working through that process. But I had reached a point in a 17-year corporate career, and I was approaching VP status when I'm like, tap, tap, tap out. And
that takes a lot of courage.
That takes a lot of courage. Everyone says that, right? So, and when I did that, I knew that it would not be in vain because of what I gave up. Right. So I gave up a very high salary and a lot of security, and I gave up just a whole identity that was me before. So I knew that I could not make that in vain. So I had to do a lot of that hard work, a lot of that soul searching, a lot of that finding my true self.
Right.
So when I now meet a sister, or I'm embarking in a sisterhood, I'm looking to connect with someone at that authentic level. And when we're talking about a safe space, I feel like that type of connection can really only happen in a safe space. So that's why, like I said, I take it very personally, because it's a journey.
Yeah.
And it's not something, you can come out on the other side, glamorous, and that's where we all want to be. But everybody's not going to be glamorous every day. And we have to be able to come as we are.
Right. And so, another question that I kind of had along with that, do you have, when you're creating your sisterhood, do you really actively feel like you're creating it? And if so, do you have, for the lack of a better word, sisters that connect in this way, and then sisters that connect in different circles of sisterhood? Do you ever, is there a reason that there are different circles, and do you connect them ever?
Oh yeah. See, I don't have enough friends to answer that question. I'm going to be very transparent. Yeah. I have one circle, and it is very small. So but I get it, because there are, some people that do have different circles that don't connect, because they kind of the different circles represent different aspects, or maybe even different times in your life, yeah. Right? So you may have a professional circle that you hang out with, but then there's your homegirls that you grew up with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those work friends, or your cousins, or, all my circle is one circle.
Yeah.
And it's very small. It's less than one hand.
Yeah.
And, I say every time my social media gets bigger than 200 people, I have a problem. It's too much.
There's too much going on.
There's too much going on. I have one circle. Mm-hmm. And that's why if you're in my circle,
you're in it.
You better be legit.
Yeah.
Because if I smell a rat, I don't like it.
So I
turn into Tony Montana.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and you see how I just move the conversation along, right? So what I was going to say, two things, but I had a brain fart. But the first thing was, and it's going back to the division. You said of keeping women separated. Right? Mm-hmm. So there was a time, and I have two good girlfriends that we were all three of us were going through the same thing at the same time, mm-hmm. but none of us talked about it. And then years later, when we finally had a conversation, we were like, I was going through that then. Oh, I was too. Oh, I was too. Now, what great support we could have been
to each other
if we had just been open enough. And I'm saying on my behalf, because when you go through certain things, there's certain things that you're kind of maybe even embarrassed by, yes. Right? You know what I mean? And so you try and keep those things close, so you don't talk about them, whether it's marriage, getting married, or getting divorced, whether it's
having children,
or not having
children. If you do have children, how successful they are, or
right.
Finances. There's just so
so much that we can get from each other, from a sisterhood, mm-hmm. right? From a sisterhood. I think Nay said to us the other day, this week, she said, there's someone in your circle for everything, mm-hmm. There's someone that you know for everything. And it's as a small business, if you continue to think, if you think that way, if you put that at the forefront, you're putting other people on as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and I don't know where I probably derailed from what we were talking about, but yeah. So did you answer the question that I asked?
Yes, I said as far as what I'm looking for in a sisterhood, that would be a connection and support of my true authentic self.
Okay.
And I want my sisterhood to feel comfortable being their authentic selves too.
Yeah, and that's the only way. Honestly, at this point in my life, I'm like, you know what? This is me, but I'm all about the energy that's connected with me.
The energy says a lot. The energy. Okay, so you also said that's a good point, because I think that was the second part of your question is, do you actively seek out this sisterhood?
Yes.
Or do you kind of allow it to come to you? I believe you allow it to come to you.
And I believe it does as well.
And I think that when you start to try to seek it out or try to force things, then it is when your energy may get a little funky. When you feel that energy is not right, then you have to, so you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
So I definitely think as far as creating that sisterhood, you have to be very patient, because the right fit is more important than any fit, as with any relationship, right? So it's all about protecting yourself and protecting your peace. Mm-hmm. So the more kind of protective you are, then that's when you realize there's certain situations and certain vibes that, they don't feel good.
Yeah.
Certain boundaries you have to set. So not everybody, it's not going to be, you may not be for everyone.
Or there's also that there are people in your life for a reason, mm-hmm. and there are people in your life for a season.
Yeah.
So you've just got to, you've got to identify and know, mm-hmm. you know, what.
And as you're growing, your circle is going to change, right? So I saw a saying earlier this week that said, don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that you've outgrown. So you also have to stay very much in touch with yourself to be like, okay, is this a situation that I've outgrown? And is this someone that, you know, or is this still a place that I need to be?
Yeah.
Or does my personal growth dictate that I move on?
Yeah.
And that, like you said, a lot of those decisions take a lot of courage.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of thought, a lot of courage, and just a lot of confidence in yourself as well,
yes.
right?
And that's a process.
That is a process. So that's it for what I had identified for today's conversation. Anything that you want to add?
No, this is our second podcast, our second official, because we had the practice and then we had last week. So this is our second official one. I am very, like I said, still big ups to us. I'm super proud of us for pulling this together and just staying committed and doing this for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So next,
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. You know I do that.
Okay, it's okay.
Doing it for ourselves.
Doing it for ourselves.
There's this is who we are.
Yeah.
And this is authentic, and this is just us.
We probably should get some better notes and stuff like when we have guests.
When we have guests, we'll be more professional, right?
Stuff, yeah.
But a girlfriend said to me that she loved it because it felt like she was around the table with her girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she said either having coffee or wine, depending on the
mood. Nobody knows what's in my mug.
Right. But anyway, so
thank you guys for joining. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notifications every time that a new episode drops. Next Friday we will be here with Cherie Jones, our yoga instructor, our yogi, and she will be joining us as our first guest. So please make sure you join in. We love you guys. Have a great and peaceful weekend and an awesome week.
Stay positive, guys.